हम Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Happy Sadguruvar. We offered Bhog to Baba, and now we'll be listening from Mohini Didi.
On this day of Sadguru Baba, Baba's love pulls us to be with Baba in subtle regions. So there was this very loveful invocation or pull, and our love for Baba and Baba's love for us create a very, very beautiful feeling as if Baba is invoking us to subtle regions. So when I went and I was giving Baba everyone's love, and then I said, Baba brought Bhog. While sharing that love, and Baba accepted Bhog with lot of love. Baba was giving drishti, very loveful, powerful. Baba said that children have become Bab Saman, like Baba, as a bestower. Children always like to bestow, to give good wishes, through words, knowledge, and karma yoga towards yagya. So it's good sanskar of giving. So you all have become master donors, master, uh, those who constantly give. But Baba says that as Baba, Shiv Baba is ocean, and Brahma Baba also constantly receive from Shiv Baba. So he also kept himself as Master Ocean. So children also have to remember that I have to become Master Ocean to be giving constantly. But some children have more attention on giving than receiving. But Baba says if you are receiving and becoming and then giving, Baba says you not only never feel tired or empty or fluctuation in stage, but if you constantly want to give and not become Master Ocean or keep receiving, so Baba says, look at that is important at this time. Am I also receiving and becoming and then giving? So Baba definitely congratulate children for being bestower and giver. And then Baba was looking at me as if, what are we doing now these days? So I said, yes, we are still using some of the root sanskars of Brahma Baba and paying attention to our sanskars. Baba was smiling and Baba said, yes, Baba hears that you all had been practicing eternal form. But Baba would say now, experience more the sanskars or emerge your form of beginning, deity form. So I was looking at Baba. Baba says, because Brahma Baba also, towards his completion of journey, had this experience of heavenly world or deity, uh, like very, very divine, very pure. So Baba says, emerge now your original sanskars of golden age. Baba says, when you will do it, then Baba said that wherever you are, your space, your place, some have big place, some have small, some might have a very little. Baba says, make it heavenly. So I said, how do we make heavenly? And Baba says, Baba is not saying in a physical way, but atmosphere. So then Baba said, there are few things known which you all say about heaven. So you give example of uh, lion and goat drinking water from the same river together. So harmony. All are different but have lot of love harmony. And then the memorial of golden age also is They show Ras Leela. Yes, children like to do dance, but this is more harmonizing sanskars. So Baba says when you harmonize sanskars, the atmosphere will become very divine, very heavenly. So it's love, it's peaceful, it's harmony. And Baba said then you will feel mm, that everything around you is becoming very much in abundance. Like in golden age, everything is in abundance. You will never have thought what will happen, how will happen, what will happen to him. No. So Baba said, why don't you all children experience and experiment with this space? Mm. Because Baba said most of the time you all are in that space now. Before it was not like that, right? So today Baba was really explaining and saying, experience heaven here. Because in golden age, when you are in heaven, you don't know that you are in heaven, right? But now you have contrast, right? So with your stage first, then space, and then Baba said, when you have that stage and space heavenly, and then when you share the message to others, when you give message, not only your features will show the future, but also Baba said you will be able to inspire others also that at their homes or wherever they are, they will also create that kind of atmosphere. This transformation at this time, Baba says, will be a practical example for others. Moving towards golden age, moving towards heaven. And Baba kept me very much into this is what we have to do now. And then Baba, I gave love remembrances and that many, many souls, they offer bhog and love remembrances. So Baba gave not only loveful drishti, but Baba gives love and Sadguru gives blessing. Mm. So when we say Sadguru Baba, Baba's love and Sadguru's blessings for today. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Parivar, January 29. Raazyukt, Bhavana. Now we'll be listening from Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. There is very, very deep connection of respect and bhavana. And actually, there is a good question that is it respect brings bhavana, or when I have bhavana, then I have respect. Bhavana means pure feelings, but it could also be intentions. What are my intention? What are my feelings? So, whatever I think first should be with pure feelings. When Avek Dada comes and he gives drishti to so many of us, right? He said those who are present, even those who are not present. So Baba's bhavna towards all of us looking at us, because Bhavana creates that drishti. He looks at all of us as pure souls, complete souls. He gives so many titles, highest on high, holiest of holy, is from Baba's Bhavana towards each one of us. Some of us are able to feel that Bhavana, receive that Bhavana, and then we start our journey, and constantly also keep taking power from Baba. So, one Bhavana is, of course, for Baba, for God, in which there is also the main quality is of love. It is love that I have bhavna. It is bhavna that creates love in me too. But also there is a little aspect which is, I call it devotion. And devotion is not worshipping. Devotion is a very, very pure energy. Sometimes we use word, I am devoted. That means not committed is a bit strong word. Devoted means that's what my love is for, and that's what my bhavna is. And it has lot of power, bhavana. So whatever I am doing with bhavana, it brings me inner strength, inner power, but also when there are pure feelings and beautiful, pure intentions, where I am not bargaining for anything, but I know that it is, there is a word in Hindi called barkat. Barkat means it multiplies, it increases. So when we do something with bhavna, that means we should really think with bhavna, speak with bhavna, and do everything with bhavna. Thinking in bhavna is always a pure thoughts for everyone, thoughts which we can help other souls to feel elevated. The feeling will come in others. I am also elevated. So bhavna in thoughts, bhavna in words, not just with intellect, right? Looking at souls as children of God, and then we say with that bhavna for them, not looking at them as what they are at present, but what originally they were and what they have to become. Same is doing karma yoga. You will be tireless if you do with bhavana, because there is energy of love within you. So bhavana is that whatever you will do will be best. But if lack of bhavana, you just say, okay, I have to do it as a duty or it's my department. The energy, the vibrations of bhavana are very, very powerful. It pulls others also. A simple thing, whether you are offering bhog or you are cooking Brahma Bhojan or making bhog with bhavana, love for Baba, love for the souls. Mhm. So inner treasure store or external treasure store, both will be full. Internally, you will feel very happy, very full, very joyful. You will keep doing it with that joy. But also Baba's Bandara will also remain full because you are using it with Bhavana. So it has to become full. So that's why we say there is love in Bhavana, there is sustenance in Bhavana, your capacity to sustain both ways. Sustenance of love, care, but also sustenance in whatever way is needed. So power of sustenance increases with Bhavana. And of course, then it becomes power or nurturing for the souls. Dadi Janki always used to say, and we felt too, that I never, never lose my bhavna for anyone. I will maintain it until last moment. And that do transform the souls. But if I give up my bhavna, this is not one not going to change. This one I don't think will progress. So she used to say, no, always, always keep maintaining your bhavna towards everyone. And also, whatever I have to give, I'm give with bhavana. As I said, not as a duty now, I have to give lecture now. So it's more from the intellect, which also, this explanation is necessary. Some are touched. But if you do it with bhavana, there will be sweetness. In your giving, there will be sweetness. And that honesty will be experienced, that what I am giving is from the truth. It's real. Bhavana will look real. So bhavana is not bhakti word. Mm. Yeah, they say in path of bhakti also that do everything with bhavana. But here also we do with pure feelings. Especially my offering or giving should come from deep feelings, pure feelings of bhavana. This has to be experienced, and you will see that how it is. It keeps me full. There is contentment, and whatever is done is always successful. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sadguruvar to everyone. So, this is the last Thursday of our series on becoming Bapsaman. So, I couldn't bring flowers from the Sata region for you, Sister Mohini, but I found one from my garden. So, I brought you beautiful, where it is? Jasmine flower.
Wow.
And it smells. It is one that bloomed this morning, and so this is for you, for Baba, and for our Vyakti Parivar, and it smells jasmine like in Madhuban. Beautiful.
Which garden
So
you have? Where is your garden?
in my living room behind this wall, I
Right.
have a big jasmine plant, and I bring it inside during the summer, during the winter, and it blooms all the time.
Wow, that's
But
beautiful.
it
Thank you.
blooms. So
Thank
to everyone, beautiful jasmine from the heart for our conversation, Bhavna. I think I still have the same issue that you answer most of my questions before I come. So now I have no more questions. But the one that you have been touching on, which I'm quite fascinated with, is you talked about, of course, bhakti, also bhakti is done with pure bhavna. And for some of us who come from a field where our bhakti was very different in Christianity, it's very austere and it's different. How do we know, for someone who has been practicing devotional bhakti in Hinduism, how do you know the difference between devotional bhavna, which comes from the sanskar of bhakti, versus the spiritual bhavna that we create in our relationship with Baba?
Yeah, there is difference. See, in bhakti, there is a kind of there is love, but also there is sometimes bargain too. In the sense, if this thing works out, then I will offer bhog. If this happen, I will offer bhog. But this Brahmin bhavna, in the sense of when you belong to Baba and you know that Baba has given everything, but then I still want to offer to Baba. It's not because I want anything, but because I got so much. I have so many attainments from Baba. So I want to share with Baba, in the sense, offer to Baba. So it's a different kind of offering, even when it's offering, whether our lives, whether it is bhog, because we have offered our whole life to Baba, and said, Baba, I want to be your instrument and you can just give me task and I will perform it. So there is difference. Spiritual bhavana. See, in bhakti also there is different levels, and true bhavana is where there is spirituality. Like relationship with God in a different way than with any other human being. So in bhakti, they express their bhavana by worshipping, going to temples, but then they say, okay, God will give us liberation. And here we know that He is giving us liberation. We are experiencing, we are being liberated every day in my life for whatever bondages are there. So there is definitely vast difference. So I think that, yeah, I always check my bhavana because I have both. I have bhakti bhavana. Bhakti bhavana for me is a highly respectful, in the sense of when you really respect someone, it's like you are worshiping that person, not necessarily externally, but from your heart. You say, for me, you are worship. I worship you from my heart. So I always have this feeling for God that, I really look at Him as, of course, my parents, but one who is ever pure, one who guided us, one who is teaching us. So highly, really, I respect Baba. And from there, my bhavna comes. So I don't know if it's bhakti or spiritual. I feel it is both.
And you see, you're again answering my question before. I was just going to ask the next question about respect and bhavna, because you said there's a deep connection. But is it difficult for someone who has been, I don't know, Baba calls it sometimes bhakti marg, into the very deep sanskars of bhakti, and they are used, to bow and to respect. And I know it comes from a good feeling, but I'm wondering if sometimes it comes at the cost of not honoring the self as much as our spiritual bhavna also allows us. And I feel sometimes the bhakti bhavna is one where you always bow and then you're very respectful, but it's a habit also, and it's a custom. Is it difficult to get out of it and to keep respect and bhavna to a pure level? So there is also, I'm okay.
There was one brother and was VIP soul, became Baba's child. So we went to Madhuban, he went, but he always has this habit of, folding hands. And so when he went in front of Baba, so he will start, kind of salutations to Baba. And Baba said, no, you cannot do that. And Baba started explaining. So then he said, okay, let me put my hands in my two pockets. And whenever he will go in front of Baba, he won't take out his hands. So, yes, there is this honoring or respecting by saluting, but doesn't mean that you don't have your self-respect. But it definitely come out of devotion. But in devotion also the feelings which you get from God, being child of God, just recognition gives us that dignity, that respect or self-respect that I am child of God. So how can God's child be poor? How can God's child be ignorant? I am God's child. So whatever are God's qualities are within me also, right? Only I'm reclaiming them. So I think there is in that kind of devotion there is also lot of self-respect too.
How do we know it's really bhavna and not a kind of obsessive attitude? For example, I know there is great passion when preparing Vogue. And I remember when you came to Montreal many, many, many years ago, and we went through the scenario again of asking you, how do we really handle bananas, cherries, apples before offering them to Baba? I know there's bhavna and there's babhavna. There's one which is baba, baba, baba so much that it's an obsession, that the banana should be cut in three because there's Trimurti, or cherry should really be removed the little, tail because it's not good. And there's so many strange theories sometimes that you wonder, is this really bhavna or is it becoming a little bit personal, I don't know, fantasy about something? But I know it's done with a lot of bhavna. And I know sometime I will be told, no, Eric, you cannot do this. We can never do this. I say, oh, why? No, 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 no. You have to do it like this. Oh, okay. And so, how is bhavna really? How do you know it's bhavna and not a little bit obsessive compulsory behavior?
It definitely there are some certain things people do. They look very fundamentalist kind of thing. But let's say if you are a guest and you have to be offered something, and if it's a person who is elderly and be respectful person, so when we give cherries, generally people will wash and give you. They won't remove that whatever they call it. Yeah. So, but generally they will remove it and give you. So I think that when we are thinking of feeding Baba, in those days, like there was always, I have to feed Baba in certain regions. I won't start doing things there, right? I say, no, I have to remove this, I have to peel this. So we got it so ready that we can feed Baba. So this is how we will do with Sakar Baba. If we have to give something to him, it is very well prepared. The way the fruits are cut, properly cut. So I think it could be very common within the families also, when we are offering to a respectable person or, head of the family. So we will prepare fruits in that way. So I think it's combination of not only bhavna, but also relationship. And like whenever we offer things to Brahma Baba, the way we prepare, but definitely with lot of bhavna. It should be same for Brahma Bhojan. But we shouldn't get caught up into, like some ask me how many fruits we should offer. Now, how it happened, whatever we say, if there is a sweet dish for both, then if you have 3 fruits, it's good, then it makes like whole tray full. But sometimes there are a lot of fruits, and so it depends. I think certain traditions get created, but there is no harm in that, in the sense of if, yeah, generally many people ask me how many fruits. So I would say that if you have one dish, then offer 3 fruits if it's possible.
But
Like
then I was just,
Dadi Janki, she had Bhavana, that there were 2, 3 things she will definitely, in London they still offer, because during Brahma Baba's time that was offered, or so they will have this little milk pera. In London they still make from scratch, not with powdered milk or anything. So I think, like Dadi Janki says, no, offering cake is not about. You have to cook something with hand and move it. And so some might say it's a bhakti, but then again it's bhavana, that when you are cooking for Baba, the feelings you have. So there are some little things like that.
would you agree that everyone has bhavana to a different extent, and some have an attitude of bhavana more developed than others? It feels sometimes to me that some hearts are like fresh grapes, they're juicy and fresh grapes, and other hearts are a little bit like raisins, a little bit more shrinking dry. So bhavana keeps the heart a little bit more juicy. But where does it come from, bhavana, really, you feel like? Is it awareness? Is it truth? Is it recognition? Is it all of the above? Where do you get it?
If there is recognition, truth, all that, but what is love is the main quality. It's like you do it with lot of love. And there is a saying, God is love. As we say, God is truth, same as God is love too. So they show that whatever, whether you are very, very poor, that means you can't afford 3 fruits, you can afford only 1 fruit. It doesn't matter, because you still have love for Baba. So love is what changes into bhavana. And what is received by God is your love. It doesn't really matter whether we take so much variety of bhog or take even one item, but there should be love. Whatever we do, it should be with love. That's pure bhavana.
All right, so let's invoke Sister Gayatri with our heart full of bhavana. And Gayatri Ben.
Did you
Wishing,
go to did you go to offer bhog to Baba?
yes, I had a wonderful experience, and I felt as if you got the full movie and I only got the preview. And it was a feeling that I had a beautiful, because I was prepared, this was my day today. And I don't know if you brought your cell phone to the Sato regions, or if you told Baba I was trying to get my experience. And in the experience, I felt something so beautiful that I was really, really pulled, and I felt more Shiv Baba's presence. And I was feeling really the pull of the eternal stage. And then I was saying, why am I thinking of the eternal state? I want to see Brahma Baba. And I was calling Brahma Baba to say, can you just show up? Because I'd like to see you. And I brought, a nice flower for you, so you should come. And so Brahma Baba came, but then the thought came, which was amusing. And it says, Brahma Baba is also Krishna. So why don't you see the full spectrum of the soul? Don't connect just with Brahma Baba's form. And so I started to experience the presence of Krishna. And I said, oh, I never thought of Krishna when offering Bhog. And so I like to find that in the Bhog message. You mentioned that Baba said, yes, you have experienced your eternal form, but you should awaken your deity form. So maybe I got a little line, just a little preview. And I'm glad you explained the full concept, so I made sense of my experience with Krishna and
Your
this.
room will now be heavenly room.
Yeah, I like that. Yes, it will be heavenly. I'm alone here most of the time, so I will invoke Krishna in my apartment and I will tell him, "Come, I have a flower for you."
Good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's
So
have
let's
Gayatri.
see what Gayatri brings for our Thursday chit chat.
So, Brother
Welcome,
Eric,
Gayatri.
what is your bhavana in picking or plucking that jasmine from its mother tree, from the lap of its mother, to offer to your sister? What was the bhavana there for you?
It will multiply, and by sharing it, my Jasmine is saying, "I'm so happy you're giving me to the world, to the Avyakti Parivar family, and to my beloved sisters." So Jasmine behind the wall is preparing another crop for next
But that's
Thursday.
the bhavana of the jasmine. What's the bhavana in you?
My bhavna is that this is me in a form of a jasmine that I want to offer to you. So
Oh.
I'm making myself into a jasmine to be presentable.
Oh, that's nice.
I come to you as a jasmine.
You come to Baba. It's like I come to you with the world in my hand, wanting so much for you to understand. You know that song by Brother Ken?
No.
And so it's like I come to you, Baba and Sister Mohini, with the jasmine in my hand, wanting so much for you to feel my fragrance.
To be enchanted by the fragrance of my heart.
To be enchanted by the fragrance. You can get very poetic with that one, right? So Bhavana brings out the poet in the soul, you know.
It does.
Beautiful. Thank you. Very beautiful. And you should inspire us all to have a jasmine plant because your
it blooms
jasmine
all year, the whole year.
blooms.
The flowers.
Yeah.
It smells
Oh,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Om
We can
Shanti,
smell it,
everyone.
Eric.
Enjoy.
Very nice, fragrant. So Baba's roots and skara is Bhavana. And today, the 29th of January, we are gently creeping up onto the end of January when these roots and skaras are going to be complete. And then you move on to whatever is next. But until then, keep enjoying them as much as you can, completely enjoying them. Let them saturate the soul and let them build strong roots into the soul so that the soul can bloom like that jasmine plant. And each sanskara can become, you will have 31 jasmine coming from the roots of your beautiful sanskaras in your life. So you look forward to the blooming February of jasmines. So today's is bhavana. What a beautiful word, bhavana. And it's connected to Brahma. Such a beautiful Brahma. It brings a warmth to your heart to call Brahma Baba Ma. And we heard the experience of being in Baba's lap. And the reason I chose this particular for Bhavana is what would it have felt like to be in the caring, supporting, and nurturing lap of Brahma Baba? What did Brahma Baba's Bhavana feel like? What did it feel like? Bhavana, of course, is love. The foundation is love. But what kind of a love was it that made us feel so secured to be in his lap? And of course, we never had that experience because we had never met Sakar Baba. But I always wondered why why didn't we capture that from the daddies, that what they felt like to be in Baba's lap? And of course, it is not just a metaphor of being in his lap, but he used to take people in his lap, just as how this yogi hugs everyone and they have amazing feelings in the world when they're hugging Yogi. But Baba's lap was something very special. So this bhavana that is the roots and skara is connected to being in God's lap. And of course, when Shiv Baba was in Brahma Baba's body and would take children in his lap, literally in his arms, something like that, and they would kind of prostrate themselves in his lap. They thought it was, it was an amazing experience for them. So can we do this with Bap Dada in the subtle region, feeling as though we are in his lap? And Sister Mohini was making the distinction between prostrating yourself in front of God and lying on the floor, or going down on your knees and, with folded hands and being in front of God. Because Bhavana also, there's a lot of humility in Bhavana. And I think it is a love, but it's a very humble love. It's a love that really melts the soul, that it brings out that humility from the soul. And so, the difference between doing that and the spiritual bhavana is that I'm always there for Baba. So my offering to Baba is my whole life. Everything I do it for Baba. And it's my whole life on a consistent basis with this flow that is coming from me in a constant offering to Baba, without conditions, without expectations. And so in doing that, it allows me not to be in that business mode, that deal. I'm doing it because I want something. I'm just offering him both because it's my birthday, or I'm offering him both because I'm going through challenges in my life, or, I'm going to go to Madhuban because of something I want to get fulfilled, some unrequited desire that I want to have fulfilled. So all of that wouldn't be spiritual bhavana, but spiritual bhavana is doing something almost altruistically. There's an altruism to the act. And so to have that distinction is very important when we understand bhavana. And of course, she went through all the different aspects of it. But I'd like to also read from one of Baba's Murli, that the way he described it, and he was saying, Brahma, the mother, has special love for the children. Brahma Ma continues to sustain the children. With subtle thoughts of love, Brahma Ma invokes the children and emerges them in the subtle regions. Mother Brahma feeds them with the special nourishment of all powers in a subtle form. The special hospitality of Brahma Mother becomes merged in your practical daily life. And so if we experience that from Brahma, even if it's once a week, from Bapdada in that body of Brahma, I think that bhavana that comes from that kind of sustenance will really allow us to live in our spiritual self-worth and in our spiritual self-respect. And then we're able to extend that to another. And so the daily quote that would support Brahma and being in the lap of Baba, in that caring, supporting, and nurturing environment of Baba's lap, the quote for it is, how does the soul feel? It is really the soul which is loved. That lovable being, the soul, gets merged into the truth. Now that is being in Baba's lap. And so tomorrow, when you are reflecting on this quote, when you are contemplating on it, and when you are journaling on it, picture yourself, visualize yourself in Brahma's lap, well, in Bapdada's lap, and feel what emerges, what's the secret of being in Baba's lap, and what's the secret experience of this word bhavana. in its pure spiritual sense. So enjoy it and really feel that love, really feel that humility, and really feel being in that lap. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, welcome to a Vyakti journey. Ancestors sharing, touched by an angel.
एक बार क्या था, वैसे मैंने बाबा को मंडली में जाकर के देखा था। जब बाबा के ओम की धुनी होती थी, सत्संग लगता था तो वो अच्छा लगता था। तो मेरे को तीर लगने की घड़ी एक सुंदर थी। हम अपने लौकिक बाप के साथ, वहाँ एक सरकारी बाग था जहाँ बाबा भी घूमने जाता था और हम भी बाप के साथ जाते थे। हम लोगों का आदत थी सवेरे सवेरे स्नान पानी करके थोड़ा सैर करना। तो जब हम जा रही थी तो बाबा सामने आ रहा था। मेरा लौकिक फादर मेरे साथ था। जब वो साथ था तो बाबा सामने आ रहा है। एक दो कोई साथ में थे या न थे, मुझे याद नहीं है। तो हमारे लौकिक बाप ने, वो थोड़ा उम्र में बाबा से छोटा था, तो उसको प्रणाम किया। तो बाबा ने प्रणाम करने नहीं दिया तो, और मैं बाबा को सामने देखती रही। उस घड़ी जो मैंने बाबा को देखा, बाबा मुझे एकदम जैसे साक्षात विष्णु दिखाई पड़ा। जब विष्णु रूप में दिखाई पड़ा तो मेरे के अंदर में आया, ये कितना प्यारा था, कितना मीठा है। उस घड़ी में लौकिक बाप से टूट गई और ये मेरा बाबा है। तो मैंने बाप को बोला, तो तुमने देखा? तभी दादा कहते थे, दादा ने देखा क्या था? तो उसको दिखाई नहीं पड़ा। मैंने कहा तू तो भाग्यहीन है। मैंने तो आज देखा, अच्छी तरह से विष्णु रूप में देखा। तब से लेकर के मेरा बाबा से अंदर से स्नेह जुट गया। घड़ी से बाबा को विष्णु रूप में देखा। फिर भी मैं जब बांदेली के पाठ में भी थी, मुझे लगता था मैं भगवान की गोपी हूँ। प्रजापिता ब्रह्मा की बात तो पीछे निकली। और ये एक गहरी बात सुना देती हूँ। पता नहीं क्यों हमारा भागीरथ के साथ बहुत बचपन में प्यार था। हमारे लोग के घर में और कोई मूर्ति नहीं थी। हाल के अंदर सामने भागीरथ की मूर्ति होती थी। जिस घड़ी हम बच्चे भी घर में होते थे, सामने भागीरथ की मूर्ति देख हम कृष्ण में इधर उधर कोई मंदिर में सब हमारे मूर्तियां थी। ग्रंथ सब हमारे घर में था, पर कहाँ पर भी मेरी बुद्धि आकर्षण नहीं होती थी। सामने उनको देखती थी, मुझे बड़ा प्यारा लगता है। उसके मस्तक से गंगा निकल रही है, वो सीन मुझे अच्छी लगती थी। तो मुझे ये पता नहीं था यही कोई ड्रामा में मेरा पार्ट है। मैं इसके मस्तक से गंगा निकलने वाली थी। तो बाबा के हमेशा जब मैं बाबा को देखती थी, मेरा बाबा के मस्तक पर ध्यान चला जाता था। इसमें खास मेरे लिए ये बात है, जब मैं बाबा के पास पहले आती हूँ कराची में, तो बाबा उसी दिन सृष्टि चक्र समझा रहा है। पहला वारी स्वास्तिका निकाल करके बोर्ड पर समझा रहा है। जब स्वास्तिका समझा रहा है तो मैं तो हूँ, ये तो मैं भगवान के घर आई हूँ, तो ये भगवान पढ़ाता है। तो मुझे बड़ी एक चीज आकर्षण वाली हो गई। तो बस ध्यान बाबा ने ऐसे चाक से निकाल करके स्वास्तिका ऐसे से निकाल रहा है बोर्ड पर, और हम लोगों को समझा रहा है। तो पहला मैंने ये देखा कराची में करके ये सीन ये देखा, तो फिर मुझे अच्छा लगा। परंतु फिर भी मुझे अंदर से आया, मैं इतनी तरफ के बाबा के पास आई हूँ। देखो मैं बहुत दूर यहाँ बेंच पर ही रहते थे, बाबा सामने टेबल पर बैठा है जैसे स्कूल की तरह से, और यहाँ बोर्ड लगा है, बाबा समझा रहा है। तो मैं सामने खड़ी हो गई। मैंने कहा अगर तुम मेरा बाबा है तो तुम मेरे को बुला दे, तो मैं मानू। मैं बाबा कहती हूँ तो मुझे बेटा कह दो। अंत में संकल्प से पाया, तो सामने बाबा कहता है बेटा आओ। तो तो मुझे अंदर में आया, मैं क्यों आऊं, तुम क्यों आओ मेरे पास। तो बाबा वहां से आकर के मेरे को यहाँ गले लगाया। जब गले लगाया तो मैंने कहा, बस वो तब से लेकर के हजारों बार मुझे अनुभव है, जो ख्याल आएगा बाबा मेरे उस गरीब सामने, तो मैं कैसे बोलूं, मुझे कब निश्चय हुआ, बार बार निश्चय हुआ। दूसरी बात भी सुना लूं, मैं क्रिस्टन में बाबा पर गई तो मैंने कहा, बाबा का जी बेटा, तो ऐसे करके मेरे सिर पर हाथ रखा। जब सिर पर हाथ रखा और हमारा मुंह ऐसे करके ऐसे कर हाथ रखा, तो वैसे मुझे पहले लौकिक में लोग कहते थे, लड़की का मुंह देखो कितना बड़ा है, तो देवमानी लोग तो ऐसे कहेंगे। मुझे लगता था जैसी हूँ वैसी मैं भगवान की हूँ। ये बचपन से मुझे होता था। मैं लोगों को, मैं इतना कुछ भी लोगों की बात सुनती नहीं थी, भगवान की तो प्यारी हूँ। जिस करीब बाबा के पास आई तो बाबा ने मेरे फेस पर ऐसे घुमाया ना, इतना प्यार से देगा, मेरे हाथ पर सिर पर रख करके कहता है, बच्ची इस सिर का ख्याल रखना। वो दिन आज का दिन हम अपने सिर का ख्याल रखते हो। भगवान का हाथ मेरे सिर पर है, उसने मुझे चुन लिया। तो विश्वास की तो बात तो क्या बताऊं, मेरा पल पल पर कदम कदम पर हर बात बाबा में विश्वास।
ज्ञान के रत्नों से तूने हमें सजाया, बाबा तुम्ही ने आकर भाग्य है चमकाया। बदली है तूने किस्मत, बलिहार तुझ पे जाऊं। संगम युग में बाबा महिमा तुम्हारी गाऊं। संगम युग में बाबा महिमा तुम्हारी गाऊं। Om Shanti. So now we'll remember Baba. And for Bhavana, I want to also share something. So when we offer bhog, Baba always says in golden age, we get so many types of fruit, so many kinds of food. So Baba is creating such a world for us where we are getting so much variety. This is the only chance we have at the confluence age where we can, make bhog for Baba, feed him. So why don't we take that chance? Same thing with the bhog cloths, because in golden age each day we are wearing 6 types of clothes, changing 6 times. And here when we had to offer bhog, we can't keep using one bhog cloth, we had to change, right? We had to bring beautiful ones because he is also giving us such a world. So that's kind of a hospitality we can do at confluence age for Baba. So why don't we take a chance, right? So that's Bhavana. Okay, now let's remember Baba and take Drishti.
Baba never allowed anyone to touch his feet, never. He immediately will say that God has come to make you higher than himself. Never allowed in any kind of way which is like that anyone is lower than him. So that was really the beauty, that Baba always gave equal respect to everyone. So Om Shanti everyone, and we keep our hearts full of Baba's love and the constant sustenance which Baba is giving to us through Murli, through uh, pure vibrations, pure spaces, Brahma Bhojan, not so many different ways. And yes, experience lap of Baba. Om Shanti and good night.